ebook ni noma. Wewe kama uko na 2200 yako wekelea shika ebook, soma for yourself. Kwa sababu inakufungua akili vibaya sana. You feel like I want freedom now because I have been violated way too much. Alafu uangalie vile tunaishi sahi. Unajua this is tracing back how come rich as we are as a country tunaishi hali duni hivyo hivi. Tunatrace shida ilienda wapi? And if the beginning is clear, we will have no problem with the end. I don't think most ni normal for a human being kuishi vile tunaishingi. I think intrinsically we are supposed to be free. Intrinsically we are supposed to enjoy this planet that we have been given. You know, it's supposed to be good vibes. It's supposed to be freedom. But imekuwa sufferation. Hadi mtu anajiulizaje, kwani mimi nilikama huko kutafuta ngado? Life imekuwa tu survival. Mbona tuna survive? Na hii ni nchi yetu. Why are we surviving? We're supposed to be thriving.
Hizi pingu zimenifunga zikanishinda kusonga mbele. Nashindwa kanta shinda hapa milele. Nahitaji ukombozi. Sahi nahitaji ukombozi. Sahi.
Hello everybody. Karibuni tena episode 4 of Liberating Minds.
Yay, episode 4. Wanjera hapa, tujabadilisha majina. So excited to be doing episode 4.
Hata mimi sijabadilisha jina, naitwa Ukombozi. And as we start, we always introduce information kuhusu portrait tuko nayo every time. Tumekuwa na Kimathi, Asata Shakul. Leo tuko na Karemi Ndudhu. To introduce Karemi Ndudhu, I'll just give a brief background ya Karemi Ndudhu based on hii kitabu, A Life in the Struggle ya Karemi Ndudhu. I'll just read the background, and it says Karemi Ndudhu was brutally assassinated by agents of the dictatorship on the 23rd of March 1996. As this book indicates, Karemi Ndudhu was a revolutionary jewel, firmly embedded in the purest forms of the Kenyan tradition of patriotic resistance. His very name denotes resistance against natural and human predators. His actions place him in the anti-imperialist resistance tradition set in motion by Yusuf bin Hassan, who courageously fought against the Portuguese in the 17th century, and by those like Wayaki Wahinga, Mekatilili, Koitalel, Kimathi, Pioga Mapinto, who fought against British imperialism. It is the assimilation of these pure and selfless traditions for liberation and freedom that guided his action as a Kenya activist, a political prisoner, and a human rights advocate. Karemi said no to the continued division of the African people into warring ethnicities, but he said yes to the unity of Kenyan people, their collective strength, and their will to struggle for a national democratic revolution as the only basis for a new era of unity, freedom, and justice.
Viva. Wow, that's powerful. Manze Karemi Ndudhu. Maybe remember our heroes. Maybe know them, maybe be them. Maybe unite kama wa Kenya and actually realize our freedom. It's really tiring to be in this new colonial system. Anyway, leo tunaenda kubonga kuhusu Central Region resistance. But before we talk about the resistance in Central Region, in the last episode we talked about resistance in the Coastal Region. But nataka kupeana background before resistance in Coastal Region. Vile white man alikam kwanza kama trader. Alikuwa anafanya tu trade. I think alikuwa analeta sijui blanket na nini, alafu imagine ivory trade did not start now. It's been there, and then our people would trade with ivory. And then the Imperial British East African Company ikatuma their people to come, now representatives of the company to come to our country. Our bado ndio walikuwa ma traders, but now they stayed. As they stayed, the company could no longer sustain them. Ilikuwa in financial crisis. So these people had to fend for themselves. Awase wamekam. But when they came, because our people walikuwa so welcoming, just imagine you guys. Mwas, mini mlami, nimekam, tuna tradingi. Na in fact, hawakuwa na noma. They did not come to fight us when they came. They actually did come to trade. Now they had a conversation with the Kikuyu chief, Wayaki, Wahinga. They had a blood covenant ya brothership, like Wahinga ataona white man kama bro yake, kama beshte yake, hatakuwa harassed kwa land yake, ataprovidiwa food. Yani for as long as the white man on his part, he would bring no harm. This was a covenant between this Kikuyu chief and this white man that, yes, I will welcome you to my land. Yes, you will eat from the produce of my land. You will eat from our animals for as long as you will cause no harm. This was in October 10, 1890. And this was Frederick Lugard and Chief Wayaki. Alafu sasa, shortly after, Frederick akaenda Uganda, akaacha his force with the Gikuyu people. Now that Noma imekam, they are forced to fend for themselves. The company is not taking care of them. So they start stealing our animals. They break the covenant that was there. And by the time 2 years zinaisha, Frederick akirudi, the brotherhood was long forgotten and it was war. I wanted to give that background to from the very beginning. Where did all this story ilianzia wapi? Well, mbona wase walianza kufight? Why did foreigners occupy our land? Why are foreigners occupying our land today?
Kenye mention ni very key. That watu wetu walikuwa very friendly, good spirit, very welcoming. Walami waka take advantage of that.
And in history, always, the black man always plays the nice person. Always. And it always ends badly for him. Yo niceness, by the way. Angalia mseka Thomas Sankara. Alikuwa anajua vizuri sana. Blaze anaenda kumgeuzia. Alikuwa na intelligence. Blaze Compaore anaenda kumgeuzia. But ako like, it is not for us to betray. It is not for us to harm our brother. And that is how Africa was denied the best ever president. Tungekuwa nayo.
We can mention several.
Yani so many. When Koitalel went to meet Monaja again,
yes.
Alimada. Juu alikuwa ameenda na goodness ya, let's go and make peace. But Monaja alimcheki hivi, amekam bila guard, amekam solo, akamada.
Hakuna place sisi Africans tume-attack Europeans for anything. It's not in our nature.
Unless it's in self-defense.
Exactly. With that said, Wanjira, we move into the
resistance in Central Region.
Resistance in Central Region. It's unique in its own way. Like previously, we discuss the resistance at the coast. Now this iko central. Maina Kinyati anafanya hapa hivi ana combine a brief resistance at the Ukambani region. And I think we'll mention several names hapo, but we'll come back kwa hii chapter.
Yeah.
Ya Ukambani. Tuichambue kabisa. Kwa hii resistance ya Ukambani kuna several names that we ought to know. Commander Mwana wa Muka na kuna
Commander
Ndua. Both led the resistance against British occupation within Cumberland. I know kuna story ya Masaku sana. Na Masaku alicollaborate na Walami.
But before Masaku collaborated,
kulikuwa na very
manze
walipigana sana.
Walifight. Manze, the Kamba warriors really put up a strong resistance.
Yes.
Until wakaona watakuwa annihilated kama tribe. Watamaliza, Wakamba wataisha.
Yeah.
By the way, they had to call a meeting to preserve their tribe. Wakasema itabidi tumeti juu tutaisha.
Because also the kind of brutality which colonialists walikuwa wanatumia. Kama kuloot livestock, burning.
The same tactics.
Same tactics ilitumika pale coast.
Destroy everything, burn everything, kill every walking thing.
Exactly.
Imagine, these people are brutal, man.
Yeah. The resistance took place between 1890 and 1901. But kwa hii book ina record that one of the most serious confrontation came in 1895. I would like just to read briefly.
Yes.
For your battle, Ukambani was yet another setting for strong resistance against British incursion between 1890 and 1901. The most serious confrontation took place in November of 1895 when the Akamba forces under Commander Mwana wa Muka attacked and overran the enemy military base at Mukuyuni in the Iventi region, killing more than 20 of the enemy soldiers. Another attack on the enemy base in Mwala followed. Closely connected with that, the homes of property of traitors such as Mwatu wa Ngoma, who had acted in collaboration with the alien invaders, were attacked and set on fire. In an attempt to dislodge the Akamba fighters, the British sent to the affected area fresh military reinforcement armed with several Maxim guns from its major base at Masaku. Nevertheless, the invading forces failed to stem the iron determination of the Akamba fighters.
Viva.
Yes, so wali put up resistance, a big time resistance to resist the invasion of the British occupation.
Yes, and the defeat of the Wakamba people actually didn't struggle sana because they had to give up their land, sovereignty, and also give up their people to join the British forces wapigane against fellow Africa. Like wali make you a part of the mpeane land yenyu, Masaku ikakuwa headquarters ya Mabrito. Hata wakiretreat wanarudingi Masaku. Like kwa hizi wazingine wakifight na other tribes, walikuwa wanarudi Masaku, which is now Machakos. It was a military base for the British. I have to mention that there was an army led by Siongu, a Akamba woman, leading this army warriors against the British invaders. But after Mwanawa Mokai and Zibumwe walishikwa ili weekend sana yo unit yao. But then they had the courage, they had the determination. I mean, who wouldn't? When foreigners come and drive you out of your land, you want to fight. But these foreigners have superior weapons, so they defeat us. And this story inajirudia every other place. But nilikuwa na watch documentary fulani jana, huo mzaya alisema kama Walami wangekuwa na mishali kama sisi, tungekuwa tunabonga story different sahi. It would be a completely different story. It was just the superiority ya weapons zao that iliwapea the upper hand. So now I think we can move to the Central Region resistance. Central Region by the way ilikuwa ina comprise according to this book, it's Embu, Mbeere, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Gikuyu, Nairobi and Ukambani.
To move to 1890 when the forces are British and Frederick Lugard.
Aki usisahau, one history lesson today you have learned. In 1890 there was a blood covenant between Frederick Lugard and Wayaki chief, and it was about peace and brotherhood and you know we good. Until the covenant was broken in 1890. And it was also the first time there was a confrontation. Yani mara ya kwanza walipigana. Hata hawakukaa sana. Kumaanisha wase walikuwa wanashinda hizi nini hata mnadu ati sijui brotherhood, sijui covenant, sijui nini ati peace. Si tuko hapa kuvuruga.
I also record that Rania left.
Yeah, it also records that he left akaenda Uganda kujaribu tena kukonka hiyo territory. Say waona mission. Akaacha Wilson. Also kitu ingine inanishow was it was a couple of white men. It was like about 10 men who were doing all this, who were in control. Yes, wako na their own forces, but it was 10 white people put together kuchora vile wanaenda kuchukua hii story, wanaenda kukapture. When Wayaki, the chief of the Wagikuyu people, actually realized, wait a minute, I think it's not what I think it is. Alimobilize wase na wakasurround hiyo fortress. Joasi sasa wame set up their military base. Imagine they have set up their military base in our country. These are foreigners. I think we need to see things for what they really are. Foreigners have come into our country, they have set up a military base, and we have welcomed them. We are even brothers. We are having blood covenant and stuff. Wayaki wakasurround military base yao na other Gikuyu warriors. Now wase and their fighters had to hide under the cover of darkness. Mbio hadi wapi? Masaku. And then they burned down. They actually burned down this military base. Ilikuwa Kiawaro, which is now Dagoretti. It was in Dagoretti. And guess what? They actually came back and rebuilt it. Wakaichoma tena. Like the second time. Like our people were not having any of it. Yeah. Sasa wao ikaanza ikakuwa sasa ni kunoma.
After the second burning ya your base, kwa na call for negotiations between Wayaki na Wilson. Facing humiliating defeat, his commander asked for peace negotiation, to which Wayaki agreed.
Because they were afraid now. Yeah.
So before the negotiation, however, Wayaki called for a meeting of the War Council at Uthiru for consultation.
Yes. Uthiru bado iko yani hizi ni story real.
So the following preserved orally is an excerpt from his speech at the historic meeting.
We have gathered here because all of you know that the white invaders who occupied our country have brought us all a lot of misery. Besides occupying our country, they have also brought all kinds of diseases. As you know, when these people came, they built a fort at Kiawaroa with my permission. Then after several months, they started expanding their fort on our land, stealing our livestock and raping our women. I said enough was enough. We've chased them out of Kiawaroa. Now they have built another fort at Kanyonyo without our permission.
Yeah.
For the past 2 weeks, the heroes of the country have fought them, and now they have encircled their fort. None of them is coming out of the fort. They are like trapped rats. Since the enemy commander wants to negotiate with me so that we allow them to leave Kanyonyo before they die from starvation, I am asking you, the power of the country, to allow me to go meet that pig, the British commander. Our position is clear. They should leave our country if they want peace. Otherwise, we will eliminate them and give their bodies to wild animals. We are the irregular heroes. People cannot come to our country to oppress us, to rape our women, to burn our homes, to steal our livestock, and to kill us. Is this their country or ours? It is better to die, all of us, than to have slaves in our country. Wow, oh my gosh, that is so powerful. And that he actually said, I have come to ask you, the power of the country, to allow me and meet this person. Are we the power of the country anymore as the people? Whoever consults us on such serious matters of the country. Manzo mwana vile walikam kudunoma.
Yeah.
I think the fact that Wayaki ako very very clear, like hawezi kama nchi yetu kudu hizi vitu zote, pia inashow wase walikuwa natubebaje.
Clearly, Wayaki understood they had to leave. The speech in Umesoma before the negotiations. This is when he's talking to his people.
Anaongea watu sasa, now the people here.
Wakenda negotiations, wako agree. You remember when we were discussing the resistance at the coast, to mention some dubious demands our British wanaanza mara walipwe for the damage caused, ndio aggressors. Same thing, they were not able to agree. Nani akasema hiyo meeting anatoka.
Yes. Actually, vile walikuwa wana conduct hizo negotiations. Akaanza kutoka. And imagine they killed him.
Hizi pingu zimenifunga zikanishinda kusonga mbele, nashindwa kanta shinda hapa milele. Nahitaji ukombozi sahi, nahitaji ukombozi sahi.